Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity checks? Introducing Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club's loan program. No KYC required. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to freedom. Borrow up to $250,000 at as little as 7% interest. Join our community and take control of your financial future. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where privacy meets opportunity. Connect with like-minded individuals and grow together. Visit us today and unlock your $250,000 Bitcoin loan. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.
And we are living in the craziest fucking timeline we could have thought of. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. And it's another day where even the liberal TV hosts are admitting, you know, that QAnon shit, they may have been on to something. You fucking think? You think? See, oh, and a shout out to everyone who was at our event at our new club in West Palm Beach yesterday. We had a great friggin' time. We had a bunch of people there. It was awesome. The venue, the club, the capital company, the credit union is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Probably one of our classiest clubs we've ever rolled out, because it's in West Palm Beach, you know, when in Rome. And what I noticed is while everyone else is kind of freaking out about the price and, oh my God, we're here, oh my God, we're there, everyone that was at the event was optimistic. I mean, people were actually saying things about the price, but there was a lot of optimism in the industry. And what that showed me is, number one, we have several people at our event who have lived through this shit before. And and that's important. If you've never went to war is nerve-wracking. If you've went to war, it sucks, but at least you know what you're walking into. We're living in a very crazy time. We have the global economic system, the old world order. All right, this is what the economy would have looked like if we wouldn't have had Bretton Woods. It would have been initially a lot of confusion. What's going on? What's going on? This is what it would have looked like in 1933, whenever the gold price was reset. Except this is how it looks when the gold price really resets. And I'm not talking about the drop. That's all bullshit. That's all just paper. That's paper gold looking for physical gold. That's what the price drop is. They're using a bunch of paper derivatives to drop the price, hoping that they can pick up physical gold at a lower price. Because remember, it's just a market, and there are market manipulators, market makers in every market. And So what they do, that's what Wall Street's job is, guys. Wall Street's job is to capture the volatility of the price of the shares. It isn't to make you money. Right? Wall Street doesn't give a flying fuck whether you make money. Their job is to plug in a bunch of plumbing. And as the price rises, it hits that little piece of plumbing, some flows out. The price drops, it hits that piece of plumbing. They are constantly leeching off of the volatility of the price. See, they don't produce anything. They just represent shares of productive companies. That's it. They don't produce anything. Their job is to capture and limit. That's why they created the Federal Reserve and the SEC. The SEC, their number one job, don't let them bullshit you, is inflation. See, if you notice how there's only average inflation, like no one measures inflation for the elites. See, their job is to limit inflation to the general public using Wall Street. See, if it wasn't for Wall Street, let's just say that we had a system that didn't have all of these horseshit monetary tools and shit like that, where you work, you have a 401k, you invest in a company, the company uses that money and grows. And then the share gains value as the company grows. That would be great, because then it would be accumulative. Well, when you plug in Wall Street, then their job is, we'll get you some shares of that. Hell yeah. And we only charge 1%, 2%, 3% fee. That's it. No, don't worry. We only charge you a fee when you make a trade. Okay. Most of the trades are electronic. Most of the trades are automated. That's it. And those are set to accumulate or liquidate at certain points. And those accumulations and those liquidations are the pump that pushes the money of the appreciation of the shares into the monetary system. That's what we created in the 1980s and 1990s, is we went from production to a U.S. that produces shit into a monetized system. That's why they say that the U.S. GDP is our monetary system. See, we no longer produce, really. We do. I mean, don't get me wrong. We do have some production, but we are a consumer-driven economy. Well, what if you have a consumer-driven household? What if the majority of your household just fucking consumes? and doesn't produce, that's an issue. Well, that's the country we live in. But the only reason we could do that is the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department. We print the monetary unit for the world. So we could print money and export our inflation, which is the printed money, to China. Because they would produce and we would consume. They would send us Hondas and Toyotas and little shit we buy at Walmart, whatever. They'll mail us that. We will send them dollars. That worked for a little while. But now there's so many dollars, there's so much liability on the U.S. balance sheet that people are starting to look at us and go, I don't think you got the credibility or the military or the gold or the assets that you're willing to let go of. See, the Federal Reserve doesn't have any reserves. And the reserves that they do have is treasury bonds. The treasury bonds they hold is just a futures contract on future taxation or money printing. We are absolutely rocking and rolling. Absolutely. But we are rocking and rolling up a fucking hill. And it's a big hill because we're in a deficit. See, we may be rocking and rolling, but we're rocking and rolling from the bottom of the valley. And also we have a population problem. Don't worry, so does everyone else except Africa. Europe, population problem. See, one of the reasons, not the only reason, for the influx of the illegal aliens into America, and of course there's multiple reasons, voting, and that's about it. Well, was also population. They had to hold up the demand. And it wasn't the demand for goods. It was the demand on the government. See, they needed to create more debt. So they needed a reason to create more debt. See, it doesn't matter what the debt is for. That's the whole key to the system. Everyone wonders, why are we sending so much goddamn money over to Ukraine? We got to send it somewhere. We have a reason to produce the money. They don't give a flying fuck where it goes. Well, they do. They print the money and then they apply it towards their agenda. They just have to make sure the American people don't get a lot of it, because that will cause U.S. inflation. But they still have to print the money. And since the foreign governments aren't buying them anymore, the Federal Reserve has to print them. Well, they have to print them into some type of demand, some reason to print. See, in the old days, the reason to print the money was the treasury bonds from the from the Treasury Department, linked with outside countries, China, Japan. They had their reasons why they wanted Treasury bonds. Well, now they don't want the bonds. Well, the government, because it's a fiat system, we still have to have debt. Because remember, the fiat system is reliant on the creation of the debt. It's a debt-based system. You cannot have deflation in a debt-based system. Because if you have deflation, then your whatever you printed goes negative. So you owe more than it's worth. So they have to have inflation, and they can never have the deflation because the system is made on debt. The very first U.S. Federal Reserve dollar ever printed was issued with interest on top of it. They lent out, the first U.S. dollar was lent out. And they said, by the way, here's your $1. You owe us $1.04. Well, where the hell am I getting the 4 cents? We'll print you 4 cents, but we'll just round it up to $1. Well, if you're printing me that other dollar so I can pay you back on the first dollar, how do I pay you back on the third dollar? Well, we'll print you a fourth dollar. See, it's all actually based on IOUs. And our system, because they're fucking retards, and they don't, well, some of them are retarded. The leadership have an agenda. See, the retards, for some reason, they think that having someone owe you money is an asset. Let me say that again. Having someone owe you money, they view it as an asset. So they put that on their books. These are the same motherfuckers who said we, the Bitcoiners, were crazy because it was magic internet money. Well, motherfucker, you're selling a derivatives of magic human money that's actually based on the capability and the willingness to repay the debt. Our whole system is reliant on humans paying their debt. Let that sink the fuck in. So, and they know. That's why they created the bankruptcy laws. That's why they created taxation, because then they can say, well, if you have a loss, you can write it off on your taxes. All right, well, then who actually captures the loss? The federal government. But that's also the federal government saying, hey, we say you owe us money, but since you lost money, you owe us less money for no services provided. You got it? Good. See, the federal government is the equivalent of a calculator calculating how much you owe it for calculating. Let me say that again. The federal government is the equivalent, and the IRS is the equivalent of a calculator calculating how much you owe it for calculating how much you owe it. That's the federal government. We live in an illusion, all right? See, there are evil people leading certain agencies of the government. The rest of the people who are working at the federal government are digging holes just to fill the holes up with dirt. Let's think of something the government provides that couldn't be provided by the private sector. Did you know there are private armies? There are. The federal government uses them all the time. Why would we use a private army if we have an army? Because a private army can do shit legally or illegally that the federal army can't or doesn't want to be known to be doing. The Federal Reserve prints money. Oh, here, even better. The IRS, their job is to tell you how much money you owe them for the work you did. It's a good job if you can get it. Think about this. Everything the federal government does, if you actually did it, would be illegal. If you printed up your own currency, your own money, it'd be illegal. That's called counterfeiting. But if the government does it, it's called quantitative easing. See, we live in a world of illusion, and the government is the projector of the illusion. They overlay us with these illusions of liability. Like you have an obligation to pay your taxes. Why? Because we say so. Why? Because we wrote down some words on a piece of paper in 1913 that says you have to. And what made, I didn't agree to that. I wasn't even born yet. How the fuck is that my problem that some other generation agreed on something that's fucking retarded? And now I'm obligated by the ridiculous. What happened to sins of the father? See, we live in an illusion that was created and started to be created in 1913 and even before that. See, they call them laws, but really what they are warnings. Don't do this or we will punish you. Don't do that or we will punish you. Well, why has the federal government got so much authority over us as individuals? It's a complete opposite of, and let's be honest, folks, The government doesn't run America. The donors to the politicians run America. The corporations, the foundations, Wall Street. He who has the money pulls the strings. It has nothing to do. You aren't electing a bunch of geniuses who have a bunch of ideas going to Washington, D.C. and saying, I'm ready to take on the system. They get there and they realize, oh, the system was built corrupt. Got it. See, the reason the honest, which very few of them are, politicians have such a hard time in Washington, D.C. is because they're honest. That's why they don't fit in. That right there should tell you, wait, if the people that are really trying to get to the bottom of shit can't get to the bottom of shit, the problem is the bottom and the shit. Because you can't get to the bottom through the shit. And the shit is the bureaucracies, the other government officials, the lobbyists, the structure. I mean, let's let this sink in, guys. The hardest place to fire an employee ain't the unions. It's the government. If you can't get rid of a government employee, then it shows you it's systematic. And it shows you the point of the system is for the system to grow. Because a working system or working engine has cylinders. You bring in energy and you export waste. So if you have an employee that works for the federal government that isn't achieving its or his or her job title or is no longer needed, that would be expelled with the waste. But it isn't. They aren't. They are moved to another department. They are reassigned. They are put here, put there. Hey, work from home. Don't worry, we got you. Because the point is to grow the government, because the economic monetary system is reliant on debt. So the government, no matter if we're in a depression, that's what the Keynesian economics, the whole philosophy is, if the market isn't using money, the federal government should. The federal government should supplement the demand. Well, how does a federal government supplement the demand for groceries or automobiles? Anyone remember Cash for Clunkers? That is government supplementing the automobile industry because the demand for new automobiles wasn't there. Because we had cars we could all work on. So they used regulatory capture and regulations to legislate the engineering of the automobiles to where you can't even change your oil unless you have a certain fucking tool. So it's cheaper and easier to get your oil changed over at Jiffy Lube. See, the government only pushes advancements that require more government agencies. It's this whole global warming bullshit. Oh, the climate's warming. Let's raise some taxes. What? Yes, if we raise the gas tax, less people will drive. What? Regulation is just moderation of productivity. They don't want a high GDP. They don't want high productivity. See, high productivity creates wealth. And unless they have a taxation mechanism or an inflation mechanism to drain the wealth out of the middle class will grow and become wealthy. And the liberals and the progressives, they definitely don't want that bullshit. Remember how we were raised on, all right, first you work at McDonald's, then maybe you become a shift manager at McDonald's while you're in school. Then you go to college and you educate yourself into a higher valued career, or you're an entrepreneur and you provide a higher value product or service to the market. And the lower class moved into the middle class. That's what happened in the 1920s, we kind of hopped over the 1930s with the Great Depression because of the Federal Reserve and the federal government. And then we hit the 1950s. Well, we're off to the fucking races, folks. We are rocking and rolling. We're making cars. Detroit, Michigan is the richest city in the country during the 50s. Let that sink in, and then go drive around Detroit right now. This is absolutely crazy. We live in a system of manipulation. And, hang on a second. This is a great point. I think crypto is finished, Ben. Retail will never buy and institutions manipulate. You are absolutely correct. And let me tell you why. Because it's on purpose. It's all on purpose. Remember the gold rush of the mid and late 1800s? Remember the gold rush? There was inflation in gold. And that's what set up for the Federal Reserve. Because gold was losing value. Well, that is an issue. That's an issue for the elites. Too many normal people could access gold. Too many people had ways of accumulating gold. So there was inflation in gold. Hence, Teddy Roosevelt, I'm going to launch a bunch of national parks. What? Oh, I'm going to launch a bunch of national parks, and no one can mine gold or anything on these parks. Well, which areas are you going to block off? All of the parts with the gold. Okay. We're going through the same thing now, except with the Bitcoin. See, the wealthy, they have no problem shifting to a new system, That's why BlackRock's involved. That's why in the last 5 years, more wealthy people have accumulated Bitcoin than the average people. That's the whole point of my clubs, is to get the little guys involved. Problem is, the little guys, they don't see the big picture. They look at the price of the Bitcoin and not the value of the Bitcoin. That's the whole problem with retail. They look at the prices. See, this is what the elites and entrepreneurs and the business people know. There is no such thing as price. There is no such thing as price. It's situational necessity or social demand. That's it. Price is in there somewhere. And that's where you can confuse the public. It's, hang on one second, word from the sponsor.
Ever wondered how safe your online activities really are? How secure is your digital footprint? In the vast realm of the internet, privacy and security are paramount. Without adequate protection, your personal data might be at risk. There are solutions to these issues, and today we're going to talk about 2 of them. Introducing Liberty laptops from Calyx Solutions. These cutting-edge devices are meticulously designed to bolster online privacy, providing you the liberty to surf the internet incognito. The World Wide Web can be a wild frontier, but with Liberty laptops, your online privacy is always protected. We also present you crypto laptops, designed with cryptocurrency users in mind. Equipped to support a myriad of wallets and exchanges, these laptops are tailored for seamless cryptocurrency transactions. They offer enhanced security protocols to keep your digital assets safe. Crypto laptops ensures a secure and smooth cryptocurrency experience. It's time to take control of your online privacy and security. Venture over to Calyx Solutions and explore our Liberty laptops and crypto laptops. Don't forget, our affiliate program lets you earn $50 per sale. Visit calyxsolutions.io now or call 7028458276 for more information, because your online safety is our priority.
All right, let me lay this out. Rich people understand value. Value is a combination of things. Price is also a combination of things. Walmart is focused on the cheapest price with the highest volume. All right. Rolex ain't. Costco, they focus on the bulk, which means price per unit, but they don't look at it as price per unit. They look at it as profit margin per unit. The value at Costco is not the same value as Walmart because there's different factors. Price, the price of the Bitcoin to wealthy people and entrepreneurs and people who understand value is completely different than retail. Retail shops at Walmart. Value seekers shop at Rolex. Two completely different shoppers, therefore two completely different prices. Because price is an application in the human mind. It's when you look at something and you say, well, is this Red Bull worth the price? First off, you look at it and go, do I have that much money? Okay, I have enough to buy it. If I buy it, will it harm me in the future? Will me using that money to purchase that, will it harm me in the future or near future? No. Oh, all right, good. Then you think about how much you want it. How much do I want this? Do I want this a lot? All right, I want this. Or it's a habit. The price is not how much it costs to produce it. The price is set by how much you can sell it for. That's why we have brands. See, the price to produce this is not equivalent to the price to buy it, because it has brand value, brand loyalty. Brand loyalty is a percentage of the profit. It's the habit of Red Bulls. And when you buy a Rolex, part of actually buying a Rolex is, number one, you're buying a Rolex. People are going to look at you and go, that guy owns a Rolex. He's somebody. That guy's a Rolex guy. Well, also, if you're a serious Rolex guy, you're actually buying the Rolex that they produce the least of, so that there's less supply. So you're actually purchasing the Rolex with a calculation of future usage, future social credit, future social credit as it gets older. Oh, you have a 2010 Rolex, blah, blah, blah. Wow. So the longer you have it, the higher your social credibility goes up. So it's an appreciating social asset. And that's the key. Because with appreciation, appreciation of the asset in social money, social network money, is higher. Society is a network. Society is a network that has a credit score actually built into it. It's who you choose to be friends with, or who you choose to watch, or who you choose to associate with. See, we already have a credit score, or a social credit score. We just don't really have a number with it. And it's all local. Or not really local, it's you have a rumored credit score, social credit score. What's your reputational value? Well, the Bitcoin has a reputational value. The Bitcoin has a network value. The Bitcoin has a reliability value. The value buyers, which are who's been buying it over the last 5 years, more wealthy people have been buying it than retail. So more people in the Rolex level have been buying the Bitcoin than the Walmart level. Why? Because the value buyer has a longer timeline of value, while the Walmart level has a shorter time. What you buy at Walmart isn't going to last as long as what you buy at Rolex. You can buy a watch at Walmart. Will it appreciate? Absolutely not. Will it last as long? Absolutely not. See, retail is short-term purchasing. And that's the mindset most retail people, and when I say retail, paycheck to paycheck, not wealthy, just getting by, swinging a hammer, driving a truck. That's retail. While Rolex, Grant Cardone on X this morning put out a post. He's selling his $97 million airplane to buy Bitcoin. Now, mind you, he has another airplane. That's not his only airplane. But he's selling his $97 million airplane to buy more Bitcoin. He's a value buyer. So he values magic internet money more than an airplane to fly him and his family and his associates around. Grant Cardone is not a stupid man. Grant Cardone is not retail. Now, he may shop at Walmart, but he ain't buying his clothes at Walmart. He ain't buying his watches at Walmart. He ain't buying nothing that influences his social credit score at fucking Walmart. He's Rolex. And he's seeing opportunity value, not opportunity cost, opportunity value. Rich people don't look at price, they look at opportunity. That's where retail is completely different from wealth. That's how wealthy people get wealthy. They invest in something, and then they wait 5 years. Retail invest in something and then wait 5 days. It's a completely different mindset. And that's why I launched the clubs. I am trying to battle the mindset of retail. I'm at war with the mindset of retail. It's just they've been programmed. They have been programmed to not recognize value and only see price. See, Walmart even tricks them more with the marketing, because what's Walmart's slogan? Isn't it home of low prices? Or something, home of low prices. Notice it isn't home of great value. When you hear someone say, well, what's the consumer feeling? What is the consumer emotional value or something like that. Is retail shopping at Walmart more? It's a completely different mindset. And that's my whole mission. And it's a hard mission. It's a hard fucking mission. It's like there is no elevator pitch for fucking Bitcoin. That's why we hear number go up is the best marketing for Bitcoin. Right. Because people see it and go, oh, the price is going up. And that's it. They don't, it's why a lot of people shop at Walmart, because they're not looking at the ingredients of what they're buying. They're looking at the price of what they're buying. Hey, here's a really cheap bag of cereal that's made out of fucking arsenic and charcoal. But it's cheap and it smells like fruit. Because we assume that bag of cereal accomplishes our goals of making us feel full and taste good. Not looking at the core mission of the food. The food is supposed to give you the necessary nutrients for your body to work at an optimal level. That ain't Walmart. That's barely Whole Foods. So at our clubs, when we have someone walk in and go, I know a little bit about Bitcoin, hey, come on in. Let us explain. Join the club and we'll explain. Okay, well, I don't know. I mean, what is it? And then we can't just give them an elevator pitch. All right, we aren't Al fucking Bundy slipping shoes on fat bitches. All right. Well, what size Bitcoin would you like? We have to explain economics to them. We have to explain inflation, which is a pretty quick conversation. Most people get that. But then we have to explain why this is important. And that person has to be able to grasp future value and current value. Problem is, not all people are willing or even able to do that. I'm seeing that there's a small minority of the general public that are willing, able, and capable of recognizing what's going on. It is fascinating watching this. It is fascinating watching everyone freak out over the price of the Bitcoin, not recognizing the realities of it all. How it's the equivalent of the rollout of electricity. There were so many people who saw electricity work, which was mostly initially a light bulb. Ooh, fake light. Because they thought that candle light was real light. They didn't understand light. And we had people that saw light bulbs and said, I'm not going to run power all the way to my house for a few light bulbs. Then they created the electric motor and the electric generator and the electric stove and water heaters and all this other technology that linked with the original source, which was electricity to their house. It's very hard to explain how the Bitcoin network is that source of electricity. And that network power will plug in to a lot of other economic engines. It's very hard to explain that in one show. It's why we all watch multiple shows. We're waiting for someone to give us another perspective of something. I watched an interview of Elon Musk this morning. It was almost a 3-hour interview. Elon Musk is running into the same thing we're running into. He was interviewed by two relatively intelligent people. They still couldn't wrap their heads around what he was saying. And I could see his frustration, not at them. It was the frustration of, oh shit, it isn't that they don't get it, it's that they can't get it. It's like a midget going up against Michael Jordan. It isn't that he doesn't know how to play basketball. He just can't at that level. Everyone watching this right now, you should be very, very happy that you're capable of appreciating the Bitcoin. Because there's a lot who can't. There's a lot of midgets who can't play basketball with Michael Jordan. It's very interesting watching this roll out. Because, and I hate to say this, guys, I hate to say this, but it's true. There's a break in society, and it's an intellectual break. You guys, and I swear to God this is true, you guys watching this, you are a level of the elite. The problem is you're only looking up. There's a lot of people intellectually under you. So all you do is look up and go, oh, look, elites. There's a lot of people who look up at you and go, elites. there's a large, probably 30% of Americans are elites. It used to be less than 1%, because the word elite is relative. It's like if you're out in a forest, you and your friend are out in a forest, and you see a tree that looks very tall. And you say, wow, look at that tall tree. But your friend looks at it and goes, that ain't that tall. Relative to other trees I've seen a lot taller trees. Who's wrong? Neither one of them. Because it's relative to each of their perception and experiences. Everyone watching this right now has an advantage over a lot of people in the world. You know what's crazy? Is our homeless people have a higher standard of living than most people around the world, really. That's saying something, guys. There are billions of people all over the world who look at our homeless people in Las Vegas or in LA or wherever, and they think only if, man, I wish I had a sewer system like that to live in. Think about that. There are people in the world that envy the water drainage system that people live in Las Vegas. To them, those people may not be elites, but they're better off. It's all perspective. And something else I've known and is like really being reinforced right now. So many people worry about making a decision for something in the future that hasn't even reached a point where you need to make a decision. So many people worry about what's going to happen in the future, not looking at what's happening right in front of their faces. It's how fat people get fat. They eat a bunch of shit food and then hope they don't gain weight in the future. This cheeseburger and french fries, delicious. Boy, I hope I can lose weight by Christmas. Oh yes, please like and subscribe to whatever platform you're on right now. And I got to roll, guys. I'm on my way from West Palm Beach back to the home club. And I have a few calls on that I have to take on the way. Don't worry, I'm using a hand-free device. Everyone, have a great day. I love you guys. And it's Friday. Relax. Listen to this. The price of the Bitcoin is not your blood pressure number. If it goes down, you're not going to die. It isn't hooked up to your heart. Just relax. It is what it is. Everyone, have a great day. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.
Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity checks? Introducing Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club's loan program. No KYC required. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to freedom. Borrow up to $250,000 at as little as 7% interest. Join our community and take control of your financial future. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where privacy meets opportunity. Connect with like-minded individuals and grow together. Visit us today and unlock your $250,000 Bitcoin loan. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.